time to not laugh. On June 25th, 2019, we got a text that shook our family to the core. We learned that our close friend Austin had been in a terrible motorcycle accident, and he was under intensive care in the ICU. We learned that he had been on a motorcycle crash, and he had been taking a turn when his bike slipped and his head came in contact with the road sign. But after the fact, we learned that he had had all of his gear on, which saved his life. After months of being in the hospital and many surgeries, thankfully, to God's great grace, he's with us today and walking around living everyday life. The sad truth is that too many people nowadays ride without protective gear. According to the Salt Lake Tribune in 2017, over 50% of all motorcycle riders do not wear protective gear. And according to the First Checkpoint website, 40% of motorcycle crashes that are fatal are because motorcycle riders did not use protective gear. Helmet use is about 67% effective, according to the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. The price of riding without protective gear affects many people. It can cost the riders their lives and their ability to function independently, and can be financially devastating. It can be a life-changing disaster for the families of the riders, having to receive a call that their loved one will not be coming home, and it affects anyone involved in the crash. There are two main reasons that people do not wear protective gear. The first reason is comfort. Motorcyclists love to feel the rush of wind against their face and the sun on their back, and they don't like to feel the discomfort of wearing heavy gear, possibly making them overheat. Motorcyclists also don't like wearing heavy gear that they have to put on and take off every time and have to store it. The second cause is the cost of the gear. An average cost is $550 for all the gear. An average cost for a helmet is around $150. Armored, leather, or Kevlar jackets is around $150. Chaps or protective pants are around $100. Leather boots are around $100, and padded gloves are around $50. I agree that these two reasons are completely valid, but the cost of not wearing gear is significantly higher. There are many ways that we can start to make a difference today. Talk to the motorcyclists in your life. Share them the statistics and risks of not wearing protective gear. There are many myths of how helmets are ineffective. According to esurance.com, motorcyclists are 16 times more likely to die in a crash than a car driver. And helmets cut that risk down by 1/3. Another way is you can share my friend's story. Help them realize that this is very real and it can happen to anyone at any time. And offer to purchase them some protective gear for a special occasion. And encourage them to splurge a little on some more comfortable gear with cooling vents or appealing articles. And you can purchase saddlebags for your motorcycle to store your gear, make it convenient to bring it with you whenever you go on your bike. Implementing the motto of wearing all the gear all the time can help motorcyclists drive safer at reasonable cost. Without his helmet, Austin wouldn't be with us today. If having a conversation with a loved one about all the gear all the time can help them to drive safer, it's worth the effort.